Today's a WRAL weather alert day. On top of it being hot, we have a few isolated showers now, but later this afternoon, we could have the potential for some minor flooding. I'll show you when the rain picks up.
Raleigh home invasion. Police say a group of people kicked in someone's door this morning. What happened next and the effort to make arrests? First day delay. A charter school in Hillsborough pushed back the start of its school year because of Chantal. The work that still needs to happen before students will be welcomed back. Welcome you back inside the WRAL newsroom right now. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's 8 o'clock straight up here on Fox 50. It's great to have you along, making us part of your routine. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center giving us some more details of this weather alert day. It's going to ramp up again heat-wise.
It definitely is. One more really hot day, but a cold front is on its way. Well ahead of the front, we've had a few showers this morning, especially here in the Sandhills. The rain is moving out of Fayetteville. You're going to see a few light showers in Dunn, potentially Clinton, maybe Newton Grove. It might make it all the way to I-40 before it fizzles out, but it's definitely dying out. Just a 20% chance this morning. But later this afternoon, around the time of the evening commute, we have a 50 to 60% chance, and some of that rain could be heavy. We'll walk through futurecasts coming up. Heat alert for today. One more heat advisory, feeling like 102 to 108 for most of the viewing area. Our western counties still feeling like 100 to 102, but in the triangle, it could feel as hot as 104 this afternoon. After our front comes through, it changes everything. But it's definitely warm and muggy as we take a look from our Jimmy V camera through downtown. It's 80 degrees, and that dew point's way up at 76, so it's real sticky out there this morning. And we will hit 95 this afternoon. But after that, a long string of highs in the 80s. I'll show you coming up. Michelle?
That is going to be lovely. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. All right, taking you outside. This is I-87 at Smithfield Road. Plenty busy out there. Not seeing any major delays so far this morning. We really haven't had many crashes either, which is some great news. Taking a look at the traffic map here. No crashes to tell you about right now. We are seeing our typical delays, on the belt line on 440 as well as 40, 885, also another busy spot that is typical for this time of morning. So if you are in those areas, you will see those typical morning slowdowns, but nothing major this morning. This is a closer look in Durham. Those delays on 885 there that I was telling you about, also US 70 seeing a couple of slowdowns there as well. But if you are heading out the door, we do have some drive times for you. It'll take you about 6 minutes coming in from Wake Forest on US 1 South and 3 minutes coming in on 87 South from Knightdale.
Breaking news we've been following all morning long. Raleigh police are working to make arrests after a home invasion early this morning. It happened near East Millbrook Road, and Ali Kadlubar spoke with Raleigh police, who say several people broke down someone's door.
Yes, Raleigh police are now sifting through that evidence. Listen to this Broadcastify radio traffic of what this group of people said before busting into this person's home.
Raleigh unit says an home invasion. Callers saying 4 to 5 males with masks said they were police and busted in the door.
This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the forensic team dusting for fingerprints. Raleigh police says a group of 4 or 5 people kicked down the resident's door. The resident was inside. No one got hurt and nothing was taken. We did ask police if this was related to a viral TikTok trend where kids kick in a door and then leave. They say the evidence so far does not show any relation. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
And new into our newsroom, we are learning about 2 accidental shootings less than an hour apart in Moore County. The first shooting happened just before noon yesterday. Authorities say a man was shot on Johns Way. And the WRAL Breaking News Tracker was on the scene when a second shooting was reported just 40 minutes later. A teen was shot on Sandy Oak Drive. Both of those people were airlifted to the hospital. The shootings are not related to each other. And breaking news this morning, police say in Raleigh they are searching for a person with an active arrest warrant. A video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows police out at the intersection of Holston Lane and Sunnybrook Road early this morning. Police say the person they were trying to arrest ran off, and what they were wanted for was violating a domestic violence protection order. Police say there is no active threat to the community. Today, Republican Michael Whatley is expected to announce plans to run for North Carolina's soon-to-be open U.S. Senate seat. Whatley is the chairman of the Republican National Committee. He took the national role after leading the state GOP. President Donald Trump is backing Whatley for Senate. WRAL state government reporter Paul Spey explains why Trump is throwing his support behind a man who has never run for elected office.
He was an advisor to the Trump campaign during presidential elections. He's been an ally of Trump's for almost a decade now. People took notice back in 2016 when Whatley was one of the first Republicans in North Carolina to support Trump in that 2016 primary.
Republicans Don Brown and Andy Nilsen are running for that seat as well. The winner of the GOP primary will likely face Democrat Roy Cooper. The former North Carolina governor launched his campaign earlier this week. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie will be in Gastonia this afternoon, where Whatley is expected to make the announcement later today. You can check with WRAL.com for updates. A Virginia city councilman is in the hospital because police say he was attacked and set on fire. Investigators say a man confronted Danville City Councilman Lee Vogler yesterday. That's when he poured gasoline on him and started the fire. Vogler was flown to a hospital. It's unclear how badly he is injured. Police say the suspect was identified as Shotzi Hayes. He ran off but was later arrested. Police say the attack was related to a personal matter between the two men. It does not appear to be politically motivated. Just after midnight tonight, President Donald Trump's pause on his list of global tariffs will end. Ahead of tonight's deadline, the president announced a 15% duty on South Korean imports. He says it'll be 50% for Brazilian goods if that country won't end the trial of a former president accused of attempting a coup. And he is also putting in a 25% tariff on imports from India. A Hillsborough charter school set to open today is staying closed. It's because of damage left behind from Chantal this month. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey tells us how the school lost almost everything when the Eno River flooded.
Today, hundreds of students were supposed to be walking down this hallway with their backpacks on, excited to start a new school year. But instead, this is what their classrooms look like here at Expedition School, now nearly a month after Chantal. Check out this video of the cleanup effort that began a few weeks ago. The record-breaking crest of the Eno River flooded the school building. School leaders say 98% of what was inside the building was a total loss. Expedition School will temporarily hold classes at an unused wedding venue next door. A room in the school building is now filled with donations from different schools and community members.
We've just had so many folks from other schools contribute things. It just is amazing to feel like we're not alone in this. And that's, I think, why it's bringing the greatest sense for me is a sense of gratitude.
Moving day for that temporary space is scheduled for this Saturday from 8 to 5. The school is hosting a volunteer work day so people from the community can help teachers transition to that new space. Classes are scheduled to start on August 25th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Hillsborough.
UNC Chapel Hill is looking for ways to cut costs by $70 million. The university's vice chancellor told trustees the cost cutting focuses on 3 areas: jobs, financial aid for out-of-state students, and programs offered. The cost cutting would come from cutting administrative staff, eliminating vacant roles, and implementing retirement incentive programs. Duke University will begin involuntary layoffs next month. The university is addressing federal funding cuts. Nearly 600 staff members are taking voluntary separation packages. 250 faculty members are considering it. And Meredith College also cut 6% of its workforce because of financial pressure. A UNC Chapel Hill alum is just hours away from launching into space. Zena Cardman is part of the 4-person crew that is scheduled to head to the International Space Station today. They've been at the Kennedy Space Center in recent days ahead of the launch. And once in space, they will perform research, technology demonstrations, and maintenance activities. The group will also simulate moon landing scenarios. The launch is scheduled to happen just after noon, so you can tune in to WRAL News at noon. For updates, we'll bring that to you live. Today, preparing students for back to school. Rocky Mount Police are giving away 500 backpacks filled with school supplies. They'll be given out at the Rocky Mount Sports Complex on Independence Drive tonight at 6 p.m. Also starting today, local volunteers will package tens of thousands of meals to help fight global hunger. The packaging event is a partnership between Elevation Church's Raleigh campus and nonprofit Rise Against Hunger. More than 500 Elevation volunteers will participate in the 3-day event as part of their annual Love Week outreach. 10 after 8 right now on your Thursday. First case detected. The potentially deadly West Nile virus has been found in the Triangle. What you need to know about where it was found. And radioactive wasp nest. What authorities say caused this contamination in South Carolina.
And one more day with a heat advisory for most of the viewing area. It could feel as hot as 105 in some spots. I'll show you why. This should be the last day we see this for a while. 8:13. I've been tracking some rain for much of the morning. It's finally almost fizzled out. A little bit of that rain pushing into the northern part of Sampson County and parts of Harnett County, but it continues to shrink rapidly. Now, we will have a much better chance for rain during the evening commute, 50 to 60% chance. Some of those cells will produce some heavy downpours during the evening. This is a live look at North Hills, where it is cloudy right now. That is not going to keep it from being hot. However, heat advisory goes into effect at noon for most of the viewing area, up to 108 around the Triangle, likely to be 102 to 104 in terms of the heat index. Walking the dog this evening is going to be pretty hot still, but it also will, of course, be potentially wet. I'm going to walk you through Futurecast. We'll talk about when the rain begins. Coming up, Michelle.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Taking you out 885 at TW Alexander Drive. Take a look at this slowdown here. This is pretty typical for this time of morning. It seems that we do have a vehicle pulled off to the right-hand side on the shoulder there. Not seeing any crashes or anything like that, just your typical slowdowns in this area. Taking a closer look in Durham on the traffic maps here, you can see the red and the yellow on 885. That is where we just showed you. That is what we were talking about there. So just, pack your patience if you are in that area. You will see a couple of delays this morning. Elsewhere around the Triangle, things looking good. All of our major routes through Raleigh, Garner, and Wendell are clear. Couple of crashes now popping up on the map. This is what happens. They pop up very quickly. So I'm going to head back there, see what we're looking at. I'll have another update coming up in a couple minutes, Jeff.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. In the last hour, I told you about Russian attacks in Ukraine, and now we're starting to see some hopeful images out of that area. Take a look at this new video that we have. You can see they're actually rescuing a man from the rubble. I also showed you images of that building that was destroyed by those missile attacks. And if you weren't with us then, we were telling you about the drone missiles. 24 of them hit that area. Of course, we're going to continue to monitor this and bring you the latest updates.
All right, Destiny, thanks for that. A former Colorado dentist will spend the rest of his life behind bars after he was convicted of murdering his wife. James Craig was convicted on charges including first-degree murder. Craig was accused of poisoning his wife, Angela, by putting arsenic in her protein shakes. Prosecutors also say he plotted in jail to kill 4 other people, including the lead detective on the case. On time and on budget, that is the update on the multi-million-dollar renovation inside the Lenovo Center. Some of the renovations include a view bar, 6 premium suites, and a meeting space. Those are just a few of the things Lenovo Center officials say fans can look forward to.
We want to make sure that anyone that comes to this building, whether it's a concert and how they move in, or the general fan, or those people that are part of the premium, are having an enhanced experience.
The $300 million renovation project is being financed by Wake County taxes on hotel stays and prepared food and beverages. Officials are also working on a $1 billion development project outside the arena. Developers say they are working to address concerns surrounding housing prices and traffic. A bill now on its way to Governor Josh Stein's desk would make North Carolinians, eligible for a new tax credit. State lawmakers voted to opt the state into a new federal program pushed by President Donald Trump and congressional Republicans. It would give a federal tax credit of up to $1,700 for anyone who donates to certain educational scholarship programs. That includes private school tuition voucher programs or some other educational expenses. U.S. interest rates are holding steady. The Federal Reserve announced the benchmark lending rate will stay between 4.25 and 4.5%. President Trump has been pushing for rates to be lowered. The central bank says it wants to gather more data on how the economy is handling tariffs. The U.S. Navy has confirmed a pilot ejected safely before the F-35 fighter jet crashed in California. This happened last night near the Naval Air Station in Fresno. The plane was assigned to Strike Fighter Squadron VF-124. It's a fleet replacement squadron. Military officials are investigating the cause of that crash. Tsunami alerts along most areas of the West Coast have been lifted after the massive earthquake in Russia. People in Hawaii along the West Coast as well were on high alert after the 8.8 magnitude earthquake hit off Russia's coast. The alerts were lifted as waters receded. Several buildings were damaged in Russia by the earthquake and tsunami that followed. It was the strongest global earthquake since 2011. We're learning more about the first case of West Nile virus in our state this year. Someone in Durham County tested positive for the mosquito-borne illness. State health officials say mosquitoes with the virus also popped up in Pitt County. A UNC infectious disease doctor told us the West Nile virus does not spread from person to person, only through mosquitoes. And most people who contract the virus don't show symptoms.
Particularly severe disease is not common. Many people have it and have no symptoms at all. Something like maybe a quarter of people will get mildly ill with fever, some headache, some fatigue.
In severe cases, people will have symptoms like nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and severe headaches, sometimes with confusion. Federal officials are looking into a wasp nest in South Carolina that turned out to be highly radioactive. The U.S. Department of Energy says the nest was found near the Savannah River site. It's a site where nuclear bombs were made during the Cold War. The nest was sprayed to kill wasps and then bagged as radioactive waste. A report from the Department of Energy says the nest was a victim of legacy contamination. New video out of New Mexico is giving us a look at floodwaters rushing into Ruidoso. Now, this is security footage showing the dangerous waters plowing through a backyard. The National Weather Service issued a local area emergency, urging people to get to higher ground. This is Ruidoso's 12th flash flood warning this month. The area was devastated by wildfires last June, leaving behind burn scars. There have been 45 flash flood warnings in that area ever since. We've seen that quite often when you get the burn and then you have no way to stop some of that rushing water and mud. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Our water accumulation will be a little bit to our south for right now.
Right now, we're looking at just the very tail end of some rain that popped up early this morning and is now almost fizzling out. We had some showers across parts of the Sandhills and Fayetteville, but it's almost over. You can see a little bit of that pushing over toward Dunn, northern part of Sampson County as well, but it's almost finished. I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot more of that in the next several hours, but by the middle of the afternoon, here comes our front. It should get close enough to us to produce more showers and thunderstorms and finally break our long heat wave. This is a look at where that front is right now. It's become a cold front moving across Nashville and parts of Kentucky as well. Some showers ahead of it in our southern counties, but much more of that to come later on this afternoon as that front gets closer to us. Here's a look at futurecast. We roll it on through and stop right there at lunchtime. Just after lunchtime to mid-afternoon is when we'll start to see some showers and thunderstorms. During the evening commute, there's 5 o'clock looking at mainly Triangle area northward. Expect there to be some heavy downpours with this. There's so much moisture in the atmosphere. There's a lot for this front to work with. And so we're going to see some heavy rain with it, some lightning likely as well. It does die down overnight tonight, and then the front sets up to our south. So for tomorrow, most of the rain that we see is likely to be pooled down here in our southern counties, and that's where we'd have a better chance of seeing some isolated flooding. There's a small chance of that today, and then a slightly better chance in our southern counties for tomorrow. 60% chance today, 40% tomorrow, with most of that focus in our southern counties. Today, we have a low risk for flooding everywhere, and then it's a medium risk for flooding in our southern counties for Friday. Checking our severe threat Friday, too. Again, our southern counties is where that main focus would be for that potential for some wind damage. Not only do we have a small flooding risk with this the next couple of days, but of course, one last heat advisory for this afternoon. That rain's not going to get here in time to keep us cooler. So another heat advisory, 102 to 108 from the Triangle area eastward, but still feeling like triple digits in our western counties. Right now, it's fairly cloudy out there, but it is warm and sticky. You almost feel like it's air you can wear. You can swim right through it. But today should be the last day that we hit the 90s. As a matter of fact, we should see a nice drop in our humidity Saturday and Sunday. I'll show you how much it could drop coming up. Michelle?
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Tracking all those crashes that I left before and told you, okay, these just popped up. So let's go through them really quick just to tell you what we're talking talking about. This is NC Highway 54 eastbound. You can see a little bit of yellowing on the map there on Raleigh Road on NC 54. That is indicating a little bit of delays from that crash. So if you are there, just keep that in mind. That's a little bit of a slowdown there. This is I-40 westbound near Harrison Avenue. Not seeing any delays from that crash, which is some good news this morning. And then another one just north of that. This is not a crash. This is just a broken down vehicle. Leesville Road near West Millbrook Road. That not causing any delays either. And finally, the final crash we are talking about here. This is Rock Quarry Road northbound. Also not seeing any delays. These crashes just popped up. I'm going to keep my eye on them and see if anything comes of them in the next 30 minutes or so. And if you were heading out the door, and do have some drive times for you. The biggest delay we're seeing right now, 6 minutes coming in from Wake Forest on US 1 South.
Thanks, Michelle. Tracking recalls. 5 on your side is always explaining to us ways to help protect our families. Well, Keely Arthur is highlighting the major food and product issues we need to be looking out for. And addressing DMV problems, how a new bill making its way through the legislature could cut down the number of in-person visits.
With the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
We're at 8:26 right now on a Thursday morning. I'm Jeff Hogan. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner right now in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with what's happening to our south here on radar.
We've had some rain in our southern counties this morning, but it's pretty much over at this point, just especially in the last 15 minutes. We're seeing just the very end of it. Not likely to see much more of it until later this afternoon. Around the time of the evening commute, we get into a much better chance. We'll have a cold front that comes through, and there's a lot of moisture for it to work with. So we'll see some heavy downpours during the commute and through the evening. A live look at Lewisburg, starting to show some thinning of the clouds there. It is going to be a hot day. We have one more WRAL weather alert day with a heat advisory, feeling like 102 to 108 this afternoon. Actual heat index in the triangle likely to be 103 to 104. Walking the dog this morning, it's hot and sticky, and of course one more 95-degree day before it's cooler. Michelle.
All right, thanks Elizabeth. Tracking a couple crashes on the roads this morning. This is a live look. 885 at TW Alexander Drive. Very busy there. Not seeing any crashes there, but I'll show you where we are seeing a few this morning. This one is NC Highway 54 eastbound. That was causing some delays on 54. Looks like that has cleared up a little bit. 40 westbound near Harrison Avenue. That one not causing any delays this morning. And then the third one here also not causing any delays is this Rock Quarry Road northbound. Keep up to date with us. Listen to us on the radio anywhere, anytime. 101.5 HD3.
We're working to learn more about a home invasion in Raleigh. It happened early this morning at an apartment complex near the intersection of East Millbrook Road and Atlantic Avenue. Police say 4 or 5 people kicked in the door of one unit. Officers are working to figure out why that person was targeted. Today, Republican Michael Whatley is expected to announce plans to run for North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat. Republicans Don Brown and Andy Nielsen are also expected to run for that seat. More news on Fox 50 straight ahead.
It's a WRAL weather alert day. One more day with a heat advisory, but a cold front comes through this evening. We'll talk about the rain and the cooler temperatures.
Also, a home invasion this morning. Police say a group of people burst into a Raleigh house while the homeowner was inside. The search for those suspects. And opening delayed today. Students are not going to what would have been their first day of school back at Expedition School in Hillsborough. The work to recover from flooding after Chantal. And we'll have some volunteer opportunities for some folks, how they are trying to come together as a community and get those kids into the learning process. I'm Jeff Hogan. It's great to have you with us here. 8:30 on our Thursday morning. We get things rolling with Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. The WRAL Weather Alert Day.
That's right. One more of these heat advisories goes into effect at noon from the Triangle area eastward. But even our western counties should still feel like 100 to 102 this afternoon. So take it easy out there. Right around, say, Raleigh eastward, it's going to feel like 103 to 104 this afternoon. But then the cold front approaches, and that's going to bring us that chance for some scattered thunderstorms. We've had a little bit of light rain across parts of the region this morning. Most of that has now tapered off. It moved through Southern Pines, Fayetteville, Dunn, Clinton, and pretty much over at this point. point. I wouldn't expect much more of that until mid to late afternoon. We get into the evening commute, we may see some heavy downpours across our area, so keep that in mind. Right now we're looking at gray skies in most places, and it's warm and sticky. 80 degrees, that dew point at 76. That's really high, so that heat index is going to go soaring this afternoon when our temperatures climb into the 90s. 95 for the high this afternoon, but this should be the last day that we see highs in the 90s, 80s in our forecast with a drop in humidity. I'll show you coming up, Jeff.
Raleigh police are investigating a home invasion at an apartment complex this morning, and this happened around 3 this morning on Matt Drive off East Millbrook Road. Ali Kadlubar went there and talked with Raleigh police, who say several people broke down someone's door.
Yes, Raleigh police are now sifting through that evidence. Listen to this Broadcastify radio traffic of what this group of people said before busting into this person's home.
Raleigh unit says an home invasion. Callers saying 4 to 5 males with masks said they were police and busted in the door.
This video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows the forensic team dusting for fingerprints. Raleigh police says a group of 4 or 5 people kicked down the resident's door. The resident was inside. No one got hurt and nothing was taken. We did ask police if this was related to a viral TikTok trend where kids kick in a door and then leave. They say the evidence so far does not show any relation. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
Raleigh police say they are also searching for a person with active arrest warrants. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker shows police at the intersection of Holston Lane and Sunnybrook Road this morning. They say the person they were trying to arrest ran off. That person is wanted for violating a domestic violence protection order. Police say there is no active threat to the public. There's no return to the classroom for some students in Hillsborough. Today would have been their first day back from summer break. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains how floodwaters from Chantal are preventing a smooth back-to-school transition at the Expedition School.
Today, hundreds of students were supposed to be walking down this hallway with their backpacks on, excited to start a new school year. But instead, this is what their classrooms look like here at Expedition School, now nearly a month after Chantal. Check out this video of the cleanup effort that began a few weeks ago. The record-breaking crest of the Eno River flooded the school building. School leaders say 98% of what was inside the building was a total loss. Expedition School will temporarily hold classes at an unused wedding venue next door. A room in the school building is now filled with donations from different schools and community members.
We've just had so many folks from other schools contribute things. It just is amazing to feel like we're not alone in this. And that's, I think, why it's bringing the greatest sense for me is a sense of gratitude.
Moving day for that temporary space is scheduled for this Saturday from 8 to 5. The school is hosting a volunteer work day so people from the community can help teachers transition to that new space. Classes are scheduled to start on August 25th. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Hillsborough.
Today, Republican Michael Whatley is expected to announce plans to run for North Carolina's soon-to-be open U.S. Senate seat. Whatley is the chairman of the Republican National Committee. He took the national role after leading the state GOP. Republicans Don Brown and Andy Nielsen are expected to run for that seat that's being vacated by Tom Tillis. The winner of the GOP primary will likely face former Governor Roy Cooper from the Democratic side. He launched his campaign earlier this week. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie will be in Gastonia this afternoon. That's where Whatley is expected to make the announcement. You tune in to our shows from 4 to 7:30 this evening for the latest. A Virginia councilman is at the UNC Burns Center after being doused with gasoline and set on fire. This happened yesterday afternoon in Danville, Virginia, just over the North Carolina border. Shotzi Hayes is accused of burning Lee Vogler. Hayes is charged with attempted first-degree murder. Witnesses say Hayes barged into Vogler's place of work, dumped gasoline on him, and then set him on fire. Hayes ran off but was later arrested. Vogler was airlifted to a hospital. His co-worker called the attack senseless.
This type of senseless act of violence has to stop. You do not have the right as a human being to get upset with someone enough to lash out and attempt to harm them in any way. much less this way.
Just horrific details here. Police say the attack stemmed from a personal matter and not from Vogler's position as a councilman. His condition is unknown. The Fayetteville man is facing charges in connection with a shooting at a bar in Robinson County this month. According to investigators, James Gilliam was a security guard at the bar in Fairmont. Police say he gave officers a fake name. That name was tied to his security company. And investigators also learned that company was not registered in the state, and that is illegal. Gilliam was arrested at his home Tuesday. After a search of his home, agents found several guns, and he faces several charges, including possession of a firearm by a felon. We'll soon find out if it could become easier to get or renew your driver's license. House Bill 245 would allow North Carolina residents to renew their driver's licenses online more frequently. It would also eliminate a law requiring new drivers to document their driving practice hours and submit logs to the state. Lawmakers say the bill would save the DMV hundreds of thousands of in-person visits. Investigators are trying to learn what happened that caused a home explosion in Harnett County. We first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. Just after 6 a.m., calls came in about a massive explosion at this townhouse in Anger. A man was seriously burned and taken to the UNC Burn Center. So far, there's no word on his condition. Police say they didn't detect any gas leaks in the area. They called in bomb squad units from the SBI and Raleigh Police Department.
Thunder kind of shakes your house a little bit sometimes, but this literally felt like I felt my own home shift.
The house shook.
Almost like an earthquake.
Yeah, it was like an earthquake.
FBI and ATF also helped to support the investigation. A new state law preventing deed fraud won't happen during this legislative session. Senate Bill 423 is intended to prevent the type of deed fraud 5 on Your Side has reported on in Wake County. Dawn Mangum was charged with filing a fraudulent deed, and she claimed a luxury home was hers when she had no claim to it. The bill would also give homeowners better avenues to correct the title of their home when fraud happens. Bill sponsor Senator Benton Sawrey told 5 on Your Side details are still being refined in this. He believes both chambers are committed to seeing the bill become law. His full statement can be found on WRAL.com. The Durham County Administration Building is back open now. It was closed for 2 days this week for HVAC repairs. Employees had to work remotely because of the extreme heat. County Board of Commissioners had to hold their meeting elsewhere. State police in Arkansas have charged the man accused of killing a couple on a state park hiking trail. 28-year-old James McGann faces 2 counts of capital murder. The bodies of Clinton and Kristen Brink were found Saturday on a walking trail in Devil's Den State Park. Police have not said how they were killed. The couple had been hiking with their 2 young daughters. The girls were able to get away unharmed. Today, the UNC Board of Trustees will discuss building improvements. The board will consider increasing spending on improvement projects, including new student housing, and improved student stores mini clinic, and the Lenore Dining Hall. Today's meeting starts in less than 30 minutes. That'll be at about 9 a.m. at the Rizzo Center in Chapel Hill. North Carolina Chamber says it is time to answer an urgent question. What's the coolest thing made in North Carolina? It's an annual competition that lets the public nominate products and vote for the winners online. The company's headquarters don't have to be here, just a manufacturing facility. Previous winners include the Thomas-built electric engines for school buses and an all-in-one beach umbrella. Nominations are open through August 13th. We're 20 minutes before 9 right now. Troubling turbulence. More than 24 people ended up in the hospital after a flight turned rough. Next, their emergency landing after a bumpy ride. And recall report. 5 on Your Side shows you the risky foods you might want to avoid packing in your kids' lunch. We'll take a live look. Carolina Beach. Well, that looks like relief on the way, doesn't it? The end of this intense heat is near. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking a cold front and the chance for storms for us.
.44, temperatures are warming up even though we have cloudy skies. It's already 80 in Wilson and Durham and 78 in Fayetteville. And even though it's cloudy, it's very humid out there. And we're still looking at a hot afternoon. Even with all those clouds, heat advisory goes into effect at noon, feeling like 102 to 108. And in our western counties, it'll still feel like right around 100. Feeling like 103 to 104 right in Raleigh, but it could feel a bit hotter than that down in the south. And we're going to bump up our rain chances. Today is the day that the cold front arrives, and that cold front is going to bring us a much better chance for rain. Likely see some heavy downpours. It's still going to be hot with high temperatures in the mid-90s. So walking the dog, especially up through lunchtime, is going to feel pretty hot. But in the afternoon, you may need your umbrella. We'll talk about how much cooler it will be behind the front coming up.
It's 8:45, so if we've caught you early enough before you make your breakfast or pack your kids' lunch, you want to pay close attention to some recent food recalls. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows us the products that could be harmful if eaten.
Ritz is recalling its sandwich crackers over labeling issues that could be life-threatening. The recall affects these 8-pack cartons. The company says the crackers are labeled as having cheese filling, but in fact, they contain peanut butter and could be dangerous to those with an allergy. Next, a popular yogurt is being recalled after plastic pieces were found in it. Danone North America, which owns brands like Dannon, is recalling its Yo Crunch yogurt products because plastic pieces could be in the top portion of the product, creating a choking hazard. The recall covers every flavor and size with expiration dates from early July to early September 2025. Be sure to check your fridge. And Kraft Heinz Food Company is recalling more than 367,000 pounds of turkey bacon due to potential contamination with listeria. The recall affects certain Oscar Mayer turkey bacon original products. We have more details about which specific lot codes are recalled on our website, WRAL.com.
Coming up tonight on WRAL News, I'm going to warn you about the millions of consumer products that have been recalled just this July, tell you what those products are, what damage they can do, and how you can get a refund. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. At the beginning of the hour, we told you about the space launch out of Florida, and we are monitoring our live feeds there. We just saw the astronauts loading into behind these doors here. And also going on that mission, we have a UNC Chapel Hill graduate who will also be making that mission up to outer space. 4 people, again, on this crew, and that liftoff is scheduled for 12:09. We're going to be covering that live on WRAL News at noon.
How exciting to have a local on there. Cases of High Noon vodka seltzer being recalled after some were mislabeled and sold as Celsius energy drink. Some of the mislabeled cans were found in shipments of High Noon's beach variety 12-packs. This could cause people to unknowingly drink alcohol. These packs were not distributed in North Carolina, but they were in Virginia. High Noon is urging people to throw away any Celsius cans that may be affected and contact the company for a refund. The new school year is just around the corner, and if your kids have been staying up late this summer, now's the time to get them back on their sleep schedules. Sleep specialists say when a child doesn't get enough sleep, that can negatively impact them in the classroom. They may be more irritable, have trouble remembering things, or struggle to focus. It can also impact their performance with sports and other activities. Dr. Brian Chen explains how parents can help ease the transition back to school.
Having a good bedtime routine is key to being able to fall asleep on time. And that bedtime routine should include things like getting your pajamas and brushing your teeth and getting into bed and relaxing your brain and your body.
Hey, you can start to gradually bump up their bedtime by a little each week until school starts. And that's not all. Screens and evening sun can also impact sleep, so you may want to consider storing any devices and getting blackout curtains. New this morning, 25 people were hurt after a Delta Airlines flight experienced severe turbulence. That flight took off from Salt Lake City bound for Amsterdam with 275 passengers, 13 crew members on board. It diverted to Minneapolis after the turbulence. It landed safely just before 8 p.m. Central Time. The airport's fire department and EMS responded to the gate to help people on board. There's no word on how badly anyone was hurt. Plenty of people are being talked about as the next big screen 007. Now one rumored choice is saying not so fast. David Daniel has that in today's Hollywood Minute.
Taron Egerton played a sharply dressed British spy in Kingsman: The Secret Service, but that doesn't mean he wants to play the British spy. Egerton tells Collider he is not looking to be the next James Bond, saying, "I don't think I'm a good choice for it. I think I'm too messy for that." The 35-year-old actor added, "I think there's so many cool, younger actors who would be great for it." Cinema United and the Cinema Foundation want you to take that special someone to a movie. They've made Friday, August 22nd, date night at the movies, with 2-for-1 concession treats and other discounts at thousands of theaters. Go to atthemovies.co for more info.
Architecture is just a way to think about how we live. When we design something, we design to be able for people.
Enter the world of legendary architect and designer Michel Delucci in Architecton. He and director Victor Kosakowski take us through the materials that make up our habitat and ask how we'll inhabit the world of tomorrow. Architecton opens in theaters Friday. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Former Duke basketball star Cooper Flagg is being recognized in a unique way in his hometown. Check it out. His name is now etched into the Maine landscape, literally, and the jump shot. Look at that. They made him a corn maze tribute to honor him. He's from Newport, Maine. Flagg's friends and family collaborated with the farm to make this happen.
All these people, all these little kids come out here who idolize Cooper. You know, they're 9 or 10 years old. They love Cooper, and now they're going to come out here, walk through him, and get to play in our area and just have fun. And it's great to see.
It's great to look at from above as well. Now, if you want to see this maze, you'll have to do two things. Go to Maine after September. That's when it opens to the public. And it's nice in the fall in Maine, you know, Northeast. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. Not nice in the south, in the Atlantic states here.
It has been quite a week for us. We've had, I believe, 7 days in a row with WRAL weather alert days. Hopefully this is going to be the last one for a while. At least it'll be the last one that's focused on heat. So one more day with a heat advisory, heat index values up to around 108. Also looking at an increased chance for flooding today and tomorrow. We'll have a cold front that arrives later on this evening and stalls to our south tomorrow, and that's going to bring us a chance of some heavy rain. But one more day of the intense heat. That front doesn't arrive in time to keep us from seeing a heat index between 102 and 108. And our western counties that aren't included still are going to feel like 100 to 102. Live look at downtown Raleigh here. You're seeing cloudy skies. It's very warm and muggy, 80 degrees, a dew point 76. The clouds are keeping our temperatures from warming up as fast, but we are still on track for 95 this afternoon. Should be the last day with highs in the 90s for the remainder of the 7-day forecast, which is definitely great. We move through the afternoon. It stays fairly cloudy, and then mid to late afternoon, we begin to see some storm cells popping up. You walk outside and you'll notice how humid it is, so there's lots of moisture in the atmosphere. We'll definitely see some downpours with this, especially as we get through the dinner time hour, all the way up through 9 or 10 o'clock. That's when the rain looks like it could be the heaviest. Lots of what we call available moisture. That dark green shaded area is where we have lots of moisture in the atmosphere. That front comes in and has a lot of moisture to work with, and that's why we'll have some downpours for today and tomorrow. Again, also very hot with the moisture in the atmosphere. We add our daytime heating to that, and it'll feel like 102 to maybe 104. 95 for the high today, but then after that, a nice break from the heat due to that front. Look at this, and the humidity drops too, from very tropical down to almost comfy, which will be definitely a welcome change. Highs in the low 80s. Nice to see a nice drop in humidity, but we'll be dealing with the potential for some heavy rain over the next couple of afternoons and evenings.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Before we head to break, here are the winning lottery numbers.